Beginning in 3, 2, 1, go. And of course, the legend begins with our main character. Main character picked. The reason for this particular main character is we get an item at the start that we can sell for some cash. We also get some friends here, the goblin, the albatross, and the shopping cart. Let's go. So basically the story of the Final Fantasy Legend is that you're setting off in search of meat and adventures. Mostly meat, but also some adventures. And we'll be using meat to evolve our two friends, the Goblin and Albatross, into more and more powerful monster forms. Eventually trying to get both of them into a monster class called the Beetle. It actually is not that powerful of a monster, except it's got a pretty broken move called Saw, which will be capable of taking out most bosses in 2 hits. First, though, we got some questing. World 1, you got 3 quests to get the King Armor, King Sword, and King Shield picked up. So in the first part of the first quest, which is the Bandit Cave, rescue the girl, receive as reward 1 King Armor. It's like shopping on Black Friday, but with less carnage. I think we only kill like maybe 25 things in this run. The first of our mini bosses to kill up. The P-Frog. Now, P-Frog, or the Pal Frog, as we like to call him, is weak to ice. It's one of the 2 times that you'll see the critical hit. But one of the many times that you'll see the delicious meats. Alright, so we've upgraded our first 2 steps. Gonna keep working on that for a little while. We have one of our monsters basically done at the end of World 1. Another one takes all the way into World 3 to get enough meat items to create our beetles. In the meantime, we're going to pick up that promised King Armor. There are any Agamas in this game? I mean, there are a variety of lizardoid types, but no official Agamas, which makes this one of the inferior Final Fantasies. Welcome in, Foolish. Just in time for the Albatross sandwich. That is true, there is no Melmon. That definitely increases its place on the list by quite a bit. Let's call it a draw. Let's call this our first guard walk. Now these guards indoors are not nearly as threatening as the ones in Castle Sword because they don't fight you. But they can be annoying if they get in your way. Any out-of-bounds bats? There's an out-of-bounds evil eye. It's not quite the same thing, but it's still pretty good. And yes, there is a Warmech. Alright, so we picked up the King Armor. I put this on my main character. It's a very temporary rental. The King items, Armor, Shield, and Sword, all get destroyed at the end of the world, so unfortunately, while they're good items, you can't take them with you. But you can take a walk over to Castle Sword The scariest place in the entire world. Because the guards there, they really suck. Castle Sword is probably 2/3 of the resets in the game. And all because guards, rather than just, I don't know, walking from place to place, they just teleport, then they walk there later. Totally invisible. Also, the block up hallways, they're just awful. And we're about to see them firsthand. Alright, guards. Hopefully you'll play nice today. And hopefully you all remember, don't eat skeleton meat. It is very high in saturated fat. Now, goblin meat, that stuff's fine. Eat all you want. That gets me a gecko. Let's go and fight this guy over here. And we're really just fighting this guard so that I can get the zombie meat to drop from it. Gotta do that in a convenient place. So now we got the Arbone, who is our new party leader, and he is just in time for the guard walk. 4 guard encounters. Alright, made pass number 1. It's the ideal guard number 1. Guard number 2 made it past. Okay. We're gonna Bone King sword here pretty hard. And we're gonna take his sword. 2 more guards. Made it past number 3. Okay. Turn back in time. I've got extra steps built in so that I'm able to wiggle if necessary. Also able to enjoy some nice Red Bull. So we got the Hornet there. Getting closer to our Beetle Dreams. Wiggling back onto our step route. 1, 2, 3. So this is the correct monster type, but the wrong monster level. And the way that meat works is that based on the type that you are and the type that you eat, you'll turn into a new type. And the level that you are and the level that you eat, you'll turn into a new level. So it's not totally obvious how you go from here to the beetle, but we'll get there. Hey, scientists say you're just in time for the Can't Run Zombies. Welcome in. This is the Final Fantasy Legend. There we go, past the zombies. Eat our lizard meat. Hey, Saya, welcome in. Hope you're having a great weekend here. Just got a Catwoman. Now we're gonna get one more tiny inconvenient guard spot. Please, guard, be nice. Be nice. Okay, made it past the guards. And into the betrayal. Who could have done such a horrible thing? Certainly was not us. After him. Played Mystic Quest, but not this one. That's actually the same design team that made the 3 Final Fantasy Legends that made Mystic Quest. So especially in Final Fantasy Legend 3, you might recognize some common design elements. There's our King's Shield. So we've got all of the King items now, and it's time to smash them. Get the sphere, we're going to smash that too. And we're going to smash the boss. This is a pretty good World 1. I feel like we're probably in the 1050 range. See if we actually get a PB here or not, but it's tough to get a 1048, which I think is what I need for a gold split. It was a 1048, but not quite gold. And that was boss number 1 done. So now that we've beaten Gemba, we can proceed on to World 2. But to connect the worlds together, there is this tower thing, which is a concept they also use in Final Fantasy Legend 2. And while we're here, let's get another friend. So this is going to be our emergency backup albatross. And this is going to be the start of the walk. So we didn't get a 4th character until now just because it doesn't really help in that World 1. But we're going to use our 4th character mainly as a decoy to prevent our beetles from getting taken out. Usually I need to have somebody die on the Wormek battle and somebody die on the Ashura fight. So that'll be our beetle and or our decoy dragon and our main character, so that our beetles can make it to the finish. Yeah, World 1 was nearly gold split. It was really good. It was the perfect guard movement for the first time going through, which allowed me to save some time. But the second time, it was kind of not so great. I had to double back for slipping underneath of them. But anytime that you survive the guards is a good time. Nearly done with our tower climb here. And nearly done with our encounter mission portion. So I've been working towards getting all of these meat drops to make a beetle. And again, the beetle is not a super strong monster, but it's got a really broken move called Saw. And Saw is not very accurate, but when it hits, it will kill basically anything. We're going to use that to take care of most of the bosses in the game. There we go. Beetle picked up. Now time for World 2. This is the Water World. It's kind of a neat change after the World 1 being pretty basic, that you have extremely different conditions and different enemy types here. Much more so than you'd expect from a very early Game Boy game in terms of like sophistication and depth to it. This really kind of showed off that it was possible to have role-playing games on the original Game Boy. Oops, 2 extra steps is not good. I'll just save there. So we're gonna get our first battle, and let's see if I can get our air seed picked up. We've had a pretty good walk so far. Can we make it? Very nice. So at this point, instead of manipulating the encounter positions, I'm using save scumming. And the reason is because you're going to start getting these extremely long sequences of can't runs and less desirable fights. And it's significantly faster, assuming that you don't lose too much progress on your walking, to reset rather than to run away from encounters. Go ahead and pick up a battle sword that's used for a quest. We're not going to actually equip it. Hey, Meadows, thanks for the good wishes there. Certainly hope you enjoy the Final Fantasy Legend here today. That air seed, basically the equivalent of the Oxio, lets us breathe underwater, which is going to be where the second half of World 2 takes place. Let's go. Headed down to the Dragon Lord's Palace, or one of the two Dragon Lords. It's kind of a weird backstory. The Dragon Lord was split into half, and both have an orb that we need to obtain. Well, as some of you know, the thing we do with orbs is to smash them. I mean, so far so good. This has been a very nice World 2 up to this point. But it can get squirrely in the Dragon Lord Palace pretty fast. There's lots of guards in there, which means you got awkward movement. And some of the rooms have fairly high encounter rates. Alright, made it in. Another big thing, if you're doing the RNG manipulation, you'd have to be dodging all of these guards without taking extra steps, or you'd have to have a step route that accommodates taking additional steps. It is a nightmare dealing with that here. Whereas one of the very nice things about doing it with the save scum approach is that if a guard gets in your way, just reset and move them back. Anytime that you leave the kind of the overall walking screen, whether it's loading the game or get into a battle, all guards return to whatever their home square is. Try and slip by the back of him. Nice, onto floor 2. Just move him back. Don't trust him. These guards are just as wiggly and evasive as the ones in the previous ones, so you can't even see them truly walking. Because again, the way that they move is that they choose where they want to go. They teleport there. And they're standing there invisibly. And then it animates their sprite walking to the new location. So you can just bump into a guard that wasn't even drawn to the screen. And it's not even that uncommon. Go ahead and get grenade for our main character. Main character, as a mutant, is supposed to get stronger by doing random encounters, and then you'll get bonuses to your stats, and you'll get also randomly ability upgrades. So like, the mutant is a very unpredictable character type, and so you could go fast or slow for your upgrades. But since we're not doing any random encounters, the monsters are going to deal all of the work in this particular run. Main character mostly there for support. And at the end of the game for human sacrifice. Does resetting negate the counter? Well, you go back to where you saved the game last. So as you see, I'm trying to walk from this spot, get around the corner, and it's faster to reset than it is to run away, assuming that you had an optimal spot for saving for it. Which is typically not the case. You're going to usually lose at least a couple steps. There we go, we got our orb, and we got our fight with Seiryu. Alright, bite's fine. So the first time that you try to saw, it always misses. But the second time goes to pieces. Ooh, that was a good world too. This is average for my PB, but compared to the average time, it's really, really nice. Abilities are better than the levels in this game. It takes a lot of stat ups to really improve your character, but yeah, one good ability is a big deal. Especially if you get like a really strong like resistance ability, or you get an AoE damage attack. And it is kind of limited because you only have a certain number of times per day that you can use abilities, but assuming that you're not running out of charges for your attacks, you'd much rather have something big and new than to have to get your stats up a whole bunch. Alright, got a riddle for me? I've got an item for you. I got a sphere. And now I'm smashing it. Alright, so there's the puzzle of World 2. Now that's the reason we got that battle sword earlier. It's just so that we could answer the second Dragon Lord's riddle. That was evidently the good half of the Dragon Lord when they split into two pieces. And so with our combined sphere in hand, now I'm able to open up the sphere door and progress to World 3. And you can tell where the progression barriers are because this little funny symbol over the door indicates that you need to complete the previous questing for further progress. And it's a nice way to make certain that you can't get too lost in this game. There's only so many places that you can search before you're going to hit a hard limit on. If you don't have the quest done, it's not going to let you for it. And the reason I kind of like that approach is it's not super in your face about it. It's like you don't have a quest log or big flashing indicators over NPCs telling you to talk to them. Ah, the back-to-back. Somehow managed to still keep the steps. And I'm getting kind of greedy with these runs. Might need to back off a bit for safety. But there are some stretches in World 3 where if you can get from one mini-boss to another without any encounters in the way, because of the fact that your saw skill always misses first try, it is kind of a big deal if you don't have a reset in between. Alright, almost there. Floor 10's where World 3 is. And also where, for some reason, the fish statues start. I mean, they're very nice statues, but why fish? It would totally make sense if there was fish statues around Waterworld. But this is a Skyland. I am hoping there are no skyfish here. Let's go. Got no idea what's going on. Well, we're about to fight some mosquitoes and eat their meat. That's basically the premise. Get a couple of healing items there. Get out of the way, you! And let's fight. Alright, 2 mosquitoes. One mosquito bite, that's fine. Come on, mosquito meat. Nope, didn't get it. Try again. Probably didn't want to run, but not worth resetting over. Just do them around 2. There we go. Second try mosquito mate. And now having beaten his guards, we get recruited by Byakko. Big baddie this world to go and do some work for him. If we can avoid taking an encounter here is really nice. Nice. That's what we want to see. So now, because I've got a saw from the mosquito fight, that's already burned off the one saw that always misses at the start. So this saw we will get first try. Speaking of good abilities, my mutant did learn Thunder, which I will probably never use. There we go. Sawed up that garlic. Now, of course, the most efficient way of doing this is to just not talk to the girl. Because really, she can get home on her own. And we can get to the top of the tower. Get out of the way, guard. These guards are as annoying as before. They will still do the teleport walking. They will still move super fast, but at least all they do is talk to you. And get in the way. Mostly get in the way. And there's a whole lot of way to get into. This is very extremely unnecessarily long. Nice guard. Get out of the way, guard. That guard was on a mission. Almost had a reset for that. This is where the white key is. That's the room we talked to Byakko. Why we couldn't pick it up the first time, I've got no idea. But now we've made it almost to the top. There's still more to go. We're not quite there, but we're getting close. It's going to heal you up. Fight the saber cats. Wait, do I not like the 2 tusks? There's one going bzzzt. There's one... Well, not going bzzzt. Set that one on fire. And then we will betray Byakko and rescue Malil. It turns out that Byakko counter-betrayed us. He was onto us the entire time, and that is how we end up in jail. Fortunately, it is not a very good jail. Alright, mosquito. Second try. Imp, is it going to be first try? We need imp meat here. First try imp meat. So now I got 2 beetles. Also means I can be a little bit safer on the second imp fight coming up. Because now we just need a win. We don't need to get the meat drop. 5 imps. All right, let's go. Get nailed. And I want to see fire. And we got the double meat. Question is, can we get to Byakuya without a fight? Nope. Oh well. So my cell count's gonna get reset, but now that I've got 2 beetles, the really nice thing is that I can sell it twice per round. And while the first one will miss, the second one is gonna get him. Let's go. Alright, nobody's dead, except for him. Byaku's down. And well, he may have taken his sphere. We've got the emergency backup sphere right here. And that's just as smashable. It's long for a Game Boy game. It's probably about 10 to 12 hours for a casual playthrough. It's a really nice length that you can finish it without feeling like it's going to take weeks if you're doing, you know, an hour or 2 here and there. Good length for car rides and things that way. Gotta smash the sphere. There we go. I mean, there's this one specific thing that we do with smashing things. Can't believe I forgot to do it. Any run killers? I mean, just getting caught by encounters like 20 times over. It is, for the way that I do the route, pretty much impossible to get completely stuck, but I think if you had your beetles die and you didn't realize it, that'd be pretty bad. There's not that many places that you can go and revive characters easily. So it's important to pay attention to what's happening in the fights. But typically what happens is that the guards are the big obstacle in World 1. And then after that, you just kind of bleed time all over the place from getting slow floors. And to get a PB, I basically have to get the entire 1 hour. Super lucky for all the encounters. Like, meats dropping the first time, getting the right character punched when you need them to, not getting a whole bunch of fights on any floor. Like, it is very tough to get the level of luck that you need to get a sub 57. Alright, almost to World 4. And almost to the start of the Suzaku area. 25% chance on every step of fighting Suzaku. And that's why we're going to take the subway. Let's see if I can run from him. Nope. So this is how you lose a whole bunch of time for no reason. Just getting bad luck. There we go. Finally got past Suzaku there. Into the subway section. This is all kind of intended by the game that Suzaku's supposed to just destroy you on the overworld, so you have to take a hidden route down to where the towns are. And pretty much the whole theme of World 4 is stuff is hidden and hard to find. Alright, 1 ant. I don't think it really matters if I grenade or not, but makes me feel better. Ant went bzzzt. And we're headed over to the town, but first there's more walking on the overworld. 4 more steps. Come on, Suzaku. There we go. Made it to town. Let's go ahead and put our decoy dragon in the front now. I don't have another better chance for it. And we'll go fight Socho at the bar. So this is a very good playthrough so far. Like anything under 36 minutes right now is doing pretty good. Could have just told our entire life story in 35.5 minutes. And now we got the bike. Let's go. So with the bike, it's only a 1 in 13 chance now, Suzaku, and these buildings are all safe squares. So you can take some decently longer size trips without getting into all the fights. It's a lot more relaxing. For some reason, these are not safe squares. So you'll still get some Suzaku up here. Come on, Suzaku. Here we go, into the hidden town. So Sochu sent us on a quest to pick up a couple of parts to go and hug a robot with. First of which is going to be in here. We need the ROM, we need the board, and we need the hugs. Yep, those big building blocks are all safe. And they can only be ridden over with the bike. So when you get post-Warbeck and you're back on the overworld, you have to walk around them. But a minor annoyance, though. Two first tile Suzakus. It's fine. Everything's fine. And Sochu here. Tells us about his plan for getting a Warmech, which we want to cake all for our very own. So we're going to sneak off. It turns out that we're really bad at sneaking. Let's go. Yeah. Go ahead across the gap. This can only be crossed with the bike. Here all the water tiles are safe squares, so again you can take usually pretty long walks without too much of a problem. And then you're in Warmech's Tower. Decent first floor so far. Up to second floor we get the Evil Eye fight. And that might have been greedy. Went pretty far on that. Do it again. Oh yeah, this game loves towers. Go ahead, saw the eye. Beetle is blinded. I don't think that affects my saw accuracy. I'm really hoping. Because I'm going on with it. And let's see if we can first try Warbeck. We don't get an encounter on the walk across the nuclear waste. Saw land first. Otherwise, Saw will be second try. Let's go. That was a good bzzt. Warbeck's done. And now we have to go fight Suzaku on the moon. Fortunately, the moon. is conveniently nearby. Unfortunately. It's got some nasty stuff in it. So Zaku's no longer in the overworld. Instead, you have to get to the end of this abandoned shopping mall on the moon, which for some reason has a subway station in it, and fight Suzaku on a train. Oh man, speaking of towers and towers, this isn't even the real tower. There's another tower after you finish Tower 1. Also, unnecessary invisible floors. This has been a very good run so far, so I'm going to be pretty aggressive. The thing that is probably going to be the worst part of the game is going to be Tower 2. Sometimes you get a good Tower 2, sometimes you just lose like 2 minutes on it. But so far we are doing good, even though this hallway might be unnecessarily long. We will persevere until we reach the end. Seriously, they could have really cut a lot of this hallway out. Would have been just as fun. Maybe more so. Going down now, the entire floor is invisible. Hey, Zentucky. I think this is a very fun game. Nice thing about the Final Fantasy Legend is that it doesn't outlive its welcome. So while there are some annoying parts, like a lot of World 4, because the game as a whole is still relatively short, it's unlikely that you're going to get stuck to the point where you like completely give up on it. Well, maybe give up on this floor. The entire thing is made out of staircases. Either you get really great cell phone reception here. All right, into the subway. And of course, as with any RPG train, we'll need to fight our way through extremely identical cars. So let's reuse resources. Caught by the dragon. Oh, don't worry, Mir. There is going to be jerkbirds on this train. Jerkbirds galore. Also, somebody asked earlier about any out-of-bounds enemies, and for some reason, this evil eye, who looks like my main character, is out of bounds, but you can talk to it if you want to. Not quite sure why you'd want to, but you can. Up we go. And let's go fight Suzaku. Now we got beaked, and Suzaku got blasted into pieces. Suzaku was not delicious. By the way, here's a sphere. Let's smash it. Let's go climb up to Ashura. So we've had our 4 cardinal bosses. Is reported to be the main boss of the game, but it is not. That is merely a lie. But there's another entire tower after this. And we're going to climb it. I mean, the martial arts moves are fun, but they have really annoying properties. I remember in Final Fantasy Legend 2, there's a bunch of moves that basically the more depleted they are, the stronger they get. So they might start with like 80 attacks. And they're really, really weak and awful attacks. But if you get down to like, 15 times left using the move, then it's much, much more powerful. So it's the combination of being like really awkward and useless, but forcing you to use it over and over again for it to become good. Only every time you do that, pretty much you can be guaranteed that by the time that you're down to like the last 5 moves, you've probably found something better. And so you pretty much wasted your time. Go ahead and talk to Mr. Top Hat here. It's required to set a quest flag. And then we'll take our space elevator up to Ashura. So this elevator doesn't go all the way, so we have to walk the rest of it. Also, fun bit, you have the trap tile in the middle of the hallway, so gotta walk up the side to avoid falling back down to floor 22. And we need to have Ashura punch our dragon. He's good at punching. Good, dragon's been punched. Ashura has been sawed. And we have seen the fastest time anyone has ever reached Tower 2. Let's go. Demon Lord's in the front. It's going to be changed into the Beholder in a bit. Smash our spheres. And let's climb. So, boss refight time. These are kind of slow because it takes a while to kill the bosses. So we're going to make a new monster called the Beholder out of Gemba meat. He is delicious. And now the neat thing is here is that this guy instant deaths on the first try instead of the second. Doesn't work on all the bosses, but the other 3 refights coming up. Beholder will be saving us some time. Now we gotta have a very fast tower too. Every time our stairs transition, this is a new boss coming up. Probably don't even need to save just those tiny seconds. Boop. Boulder petrified Serio. And usually you're lucky enough that it'll happen before anybody else gets a turn because the boulders are really fast. But up we go. 2 down, 2 to go. That was a good walk. You hate to see the encounters right at the very end. If they're at the beginning, it's not quite as obnoxious, because you're not losing as much time on the trip. Those last couple steps, super nerve-wracking. Time for boss 3. These floors I'll do in 2 parts because they're kind of big. Byaku's done. He was also not delicious. And each of these boss fights kind of gives you a decent-ish item. But we do not need them. Items mostly are used by the human characters. They've got the biggest inventory space. They can use 8 items. Mutants can use 4, and then monsters can't use any items at all. They're just kind of... whatever abilities of that particular monster type is what you get. So they get really powerful evolutions from eating meat, but you don't have a lot of control over them. Alright, so far kind of an average tower 2. We just want to keep it up. Hopefully have some good walks at some point. Make it through a bunch of floors in a row. Up now to Suzaku. Can you get in the encounter a new room? Yep. You can get an encounter by loading the game. Don't have to go into a room. But basically, yeah, you can get 0 steps and 1 steps and all kinds of scary stuff going through places. Final tower stretch. So basically, this is corresponding to the same floors that we fought their worlds originally on. So we're up to the floor where World 4 was. We got to the floor where Ashura was. That is where the final boss of the game is. Armor got me again. It's the second time armor's been a can't run. Couple more to go. Taking it. Last few. There is a big space elevator at the end, though. It's got a lot of encounters on it. A lot of encounters. Let's go. One step away. Fireman, see you later. Time for the final boss. And time to fight the creator. How amusing. It's time to fight. $55-35. The Final Fantasy Legend. It is done. It is very